Bring it out?
Yep.
Bring it down?
No, we're gonna leave it on there. Okay, we're just gonna go over the operation a little bit. I have the put the hopper in there just so you can take a look at it. And we got the single funnel, which is the blending here. So we'll go over how to operate it in just a few seconds here. We got the touchscreen powered up, and we'll go over the operation in just a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay, this is Actionpac, and we're going to go over the controls for Santa Fe Bean Company. And what this is a 2-lane system with a portion doser, and has a bulk hopper and 2 different styles of funnels. One that's on there right now is the 2-to-1 funnel. It's meant for blending products together and going into one bag. And then we also have the capability of going to 2 manual funnels with no spice blending. And then we're going to go ahead and go over the controls for that real quick. So we have a Windows 7 based touchscreen here that controls everything on the machine up here. And basically this screen here is what is shown when the machine starts up, and it's fairly straightforward. You have some options here. If you want to blend, that means that you can have both buckets dump at the same time, so that you can combine, for example, beans on one side, rice on the other. You can also turn the spice on and off, which is up here we have what we call a portion doser, and that's going to be loaded with whatever spices or whatever spice is needed. Right now we have salt in there, and so the portion time, okay, is controlled by this timer here. Touch that, you can change the time based on milliseconds. So if you want say half a second of fill time, you can change that value to 500. And what that does is if you have if you turn on the spicer, what will happen is when the bucket dumps, the portion doser that has the spice will turn on for the duration here. And so that time, in conjunction with this value here, which is your speed of the feeder, is what's going to give you the spice amount in the bag. And so there'll be some sweet spots for that. And we have a program select feature where when you press this, it shows a few things. One is the program number, which is where your specific recipe is stored, and it has a picture that can be changed to whatever is appropriate for that program. And then it has a description. And so, for example, program 00, we just allocated it for the bracho beans, which is 244 grams of whole pinto beans and 11 grams of jalapeno seasoning. Now, we don't know really what the time yet back on this. Whoops. Sorry about that. We don't know what the time is yet for that because we haven't tested the jalapeno seasoning, but once you figure out and dial in a time in the program select screen, we can change that value so the operators can easily reference what that time should be to get you the recipe you want. So anyways, you touch anywhere in the row and it selects the program for you, close it out. Now it shows a picture of the program. It shows you up here what program it is, bracho beans 244. Down here you got your program number and then the live display, live weight. Everything else is fairly straightforward. So we went over the program select, we went over enabling the blending and spice mode, the time for the portion. You can also empty the buckets. If you're not in run mode, you press dump, lane 1, lane 2, or you can do both at the same time if you want to empty the buckets. You can also dose one time if you want to just test out the portion time and the speed inside the box. If you want to just test what the result is, you can just dose one time and see what result you get until you dial it in what you want, get what you want. Then we have a clean system. If you press this, it essentially opens the buckets, opens the lane gates, turns the feeders on, turns the spicer on. It just opens everything up and allows everything to run out so you can clean the system. You can also, if you want to like turn one side off and only run one lane, you can do that by disabling or enabling the lanes. And then here is your start system button. So really all you need to do is select your program, okay? Decide which option you want. You can leave them off right now or you can turn them on, whatever. And then empty the buckets to clear them out and then hit start. And that's really all you need to do as an operator. So it's very straightforward. The rest of these features are more for maintenance and kind of just testing stuff. We also have another feature, which is the keypad, password protected, 4 zeros is the default program. This actually is the individual scale control that goes into more detail. If you need to make changes to a program or add a new program or modify stuff, that's all in the manual. But these features we won't go over right now. You also have, you can lock that out so that the operators only have access to the main features so that they can just recall the program, choose their options and run. They don't need access to make new programs and do all that stuff. So we lock out the keypad. Over here we have kind of a snapshot of what's going on. So every time the bucket dumps for lane 1 and lane 2, it'll show you what the weight was so that you can kind of see real quick what each cycle is without having to watch the live weight and kind of catch it yourself. It also shows you total fills a minute, and the number of accepts and the number of overs. And that information is just there so you can get an idea of how the running or how the batch is going. If you're getting a lot of overs, you can, probably want to stop the machine and make some changes. Or you can look at the fills per minute, whatever you need. The other thing we have are the data records, also password protected, 4 zeros again, default password. You can reset the system results that are right here by just pressing the reset system results. So like if every batch you want to start over again, you can do that, or you can keep running whatever you want. Or we have the data log. In the data log, it brings up a screen here. You can either view the weight data, which will show the data in this table. You can export the data. You don't have to view it, but you can export it. It sends it to a file, or you can just clear the data. So for example, if I hit view data, it shows me some information, the ID, the scale number, lane 1, lane 2, what the program number was, what the name was, and then it also shows weight, accept, over, and the date. And now this information, if I were to export it, okay, it sends it to a file C drive and the reports folder with the name of today's date and the word weight. And so what this does is it puts it in a comma separated value file, which can be directly imported to Excel. So let's go ahead and exit out of here. We'll go to Windows. You'll notice that there's a reports folder if we go into the C drive, and because this is Windows, you can actually network or share this folder on your network, so that you can actually access it from your office or whatever to kind of view the reports if you want. And so there's our comma separated value file. And like I said, we can open that up with Excel, and then you can do whatever organization you want using Excel, looking at accepts or weights or averaging or whatever. We also have quick access to the program images. So you can see all we do is drag, copy and paste a JPEG file into this folder and then just rename that JPEG image to the program number. Once you do that, it automatically resizes the picture and puts it in that list back on the program select page that we saw earlier. The other thing you have access to is the program descriptions. Same thing. We have some basic syntax here. You got your program number in the square brackets, and then you have your program description in between the two quotes. So you can either use like the on-screen keyboard. You go into here, you go to accessories, ease of access, on-screen keyboard. You can use that to kind of make changes, or you can hook up a keyboard, external keyboard. I prefer to do that, it's a little quicker. And a mouse. You can also use a mouse too to kind of go in here and make your changes. So the point is that you can change your program description. You can add images by adding, dragging and dropping, and really simple way to kind of create new programs and modify existing programs. You just touch the shortcut, opens up the program again. This program automatically starts with Windows, so you don't have to actually go into Windows if you don't want to. But that's pretty much it. The way that your operator interacts with the machine is through foot pedals. We have 2 of them, one's for lane 1, one's for lane 2. If you're in the blend mode, then either foot pedal will work. The individual foot pedals are mainly meant for when you have an operator on both sides running the machine. So the other thing we have down here is the funnel snout. Do we have another one of these right now?
I don't know if it's, I'd have to check.
All right, well the point is that this funnel can lock into place, or you can actually have multiple of them so that the snout can just be simply removed and swapped out for like a different bag size or something like that. This is for your 2-to-1 blending setup. Now, the other setup would be to take off these bolts here, remove this funnel completely, and then install the other 2 funnels, which we don't have.
They're on the shelf.
They're on the shelf, showing that you'll have one funnel here for one operator, another funnel here for the other operator. Jonathan will take a picture of that after we finish this video. This bucket's not straight. And that's pretty much it though. There's really not much else to this system. That's a wrap.